the distance. Remember, the guys that Ayala's had trouble with, Nicanor Camacho and Mike Baker, have both been cuties that run around. Now, this guy runs around, but he has the capacity to win. He's a world-class fighter.
All right, Angelo Dundee, who will be in the corner of Steve Gregory, labels Gregory as a thinking man's fighter.
So it's going to be interesting.
And that is another part of the storyline here today, as we will take a look at both fighters, Tony Ayala and Steve Gregory, from the point of view of the folks in there. For Tony Ayala and Steve Gregory, and as we mentioned earlier, today we are putting the cornermen in the spotlight. What happens in that frantic moment between rounds? Well, we checked it out with Tony Ayala's man, one of the most respected cornermen in the business, Ferdy, along with Lou Duva.
There's 10 seconds left in the round. The corner is aware that they have to be in this corner as soon as the bell sounds. So the chief second goes between the second and third. The stool is put in, the fighter sits down, action begins almost immediately. First, the mouthpiece comes out, which is washed by the second. Now the chief second talks.
Well, number one, I've got to evaluate his physical and mental condition. I've got a team working, one on each side of the post. One takes care of freshening him up, one takes care of wiping him down, one takes care of, he can ice him up in the back of the neck, he can ice his eyes up, he can take care of everything going on here.
Now, what are you doing here? Why do you pull the fighter's trunks out?
Well, being the cup is under those trunks is usually tight there. It gives him room to breathe.
It's important for him to take deep breaths.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, your function, I see you're thinking in terms of ring generalship. What else do you do for a fighter?
Well, I've got to, again, evaluate his mental and physical condition. I've got to, the main purpose is to tell my fighter how to beat the opponent out there.
Now, that can be psychological. That could be you're telling him you're losing him. You can do any number of things to him. Water coming, why?
Well, I like the water toward the end of the round. And number one, I don't like the idea of dousing a fighter with water. To me, that doesn't do anything. I'd like him to take a little water toward the end of the round, rest period. I'd like him to swallow a little of it because he is out there sweating. I don't want to take the possibility of dehydrating him.
But he doesn't drink the water. He just takes a little, spits it out.
That's right.
And leaves a little in his mouth.
That's right.
All right, now the round is about to start. I see you always are putting Vaseline on his brow. Why?
Well, that's number one. That's for medication, soften up the skin. It would minimize the possibility of getting cuts. And at the same time, the punches that he absorbs can just roll off those air eyes.
Okay. Gregory, 27 years old, a record of 25-2 with 2 draws. That, according to Ring Magazine. Gregory out of Columbus, Ohio, where he lives and trains and where he coaches in the city's youth boxing program. Fighters being introduced in a moment. Referee Arthur Mercanti, introduced by ring announcer Mark Biro. The 2 losses suffered by Gregory by decision in the title fight in Denmark against Ayub Kalule. And according to Ring Magazine, the junior middleweight champion, Sugar Ray Leonard, followed by Wilfred Benitez. Kalule ranked 2nd, followed by Tony Ayala. Gregory losing to Kalule back in December of '79. He broke his hand in the first round and then fought one-handed for 14 rounds. And then was stopped by Charlie Weir in South Africa. The introduction of El Torito, the baby bull. There he is, Tony Ayala, who has not lost a fight since the age of 8. Manager Lou Duva says that Tony did lose a fight when he was 5 years old, and he says they're still looking for the guy who beat Ayala. They want to set up a rematch.
I'd like to set up a rematch between him and the guy that mugged James Green.
Under the rules of the Tampa Boxing Commission, scoring on the 10-point must system. The scoring handled by 3 judges. The referee does not have a vote. Mandatory 8 count will be in effect, as is the 3 knockdown rule, and the boxer may be saved by the bell. Round 1, and we're scheduled for 10. Tony Ayala, who has shown on many occasions that awesome power highlighted by a powerful left hook, always looks to be fighting in a rage. which has prompted comparisons to the style of Roberto Duran. Tony always looks to be mad in the ring.
Well, he's mad today because there's a little question of the weight. They made him weigh in twice, and he's lost a lot of the baby fat. He's starting to look like a defined features of a heavy punching fighter. He still has a little bit of baby fat around his middle, as you can see. Heavy puncher, determined. Determination is his keynote. He just keeps coming right in. Gregory's a fine fighter. He's been coached by Angelo Dundee to move around, build up these early rounds if he can while they're waiting for Ayala to warm up. Ayala, as you can see, is just measuring his fighter, looking for that moment when he can unleash that devastating left hook that he's got.
And we're a minute gone by in round one. Dundee feels that Gregory can adjust to different styles, can fight on the move or stationary, and can take a punch. That has never been questioned.
He has never been down. The only time he lost because of a freak punch to his Adam's apple. That is not only painful but very dangerous. If there's a demon in that area, you could actually choke to death.
That was thrown by Charlie Weir in the bout in South Africa. Gregory unable to continue after taking that blow.
Right now, Gregory is doing all the fighting.
Ayala with a combination, and Mercante. A little punch thrown by Ayala on the break, and he's warned by Mercante. A light left hand. Oh, and a hard left hand unleashed by Ayala. And the right.
That's his left hook that's devastating. He just unleashed it. Gregory standing still a lot more than he said he was. Not enough credit is given Ayala. He doesn't usually opponents don't last that long for his defensive skills. But when he throws a punch, he always covers up. He's well taught by his father, who has certainly had enough experience. His entire family are fighters, and he's got one incubating away at 15 years of age named Paulie, who's supposed to be sensational.
This is scheduled for 10, and we are final seconds, round one in Tampa, Florida. And this is round two. Tony Ayala going against Steve Gregory. Earlier we saw the work of Lou Duva. Now let's go to the corner and listen in on Angelo Dundee into the corner of Steve Gregory.
Throw your jab and the guy bends, hit him with an uppercut. You know what I mean? When you jab and you fall in, the guy drops. You know what I mean? Come up with an uppercut. Come back with a nice hook.
Advice from Angelo Dundee, but Ayala able to tee off here on Gregory in the opening minute of the second round.
He's not taking Angelo's advice. He's not punching sharp and crisp and moving away. If he stands on the ropes, that's Ayala territory.
Powerful combinations landed by Ayala to the head of Steve Gregory.
And already Gregory's face is all red. He cannot hope to stand on the ropes with Tony Ayala.
In the corner of Ayala, Lou Duva saying, go to the body.
Nice overhead shot showing those crisp punches Angelo was talking about. That's what he's got to do, crisp punches and move away. But he's crisp punches and standing still. That's bad.
Combination by Gregory really did not have much damage. Tony Ayala fighting for the first time in 7 months. And looking very sharp in this opening round. Devastating combinations being thrown by Ayala.
Ayala wants a world championship, and he wants it now. He wants it this summer. He wants it anytime he can get it.
Gregory taking a beating here in the second round. Oh, Ayala continues to land everything he's throwing. Oh, another right hand, the left hook by Ayala.
He cannot keep taking that kind of punishment. He's got to move around. And even though he's a clever puncher, a boxer puncher that knows how to move and punch still, Ayala neutralizes that by cutting him off and pounding on the ropes. It's a question of power. Overpowering steam of Tony Ayala's punches. terrible feeling to miss and be that naked when you've got a guy standing in front of you that can punch like Tony Ayala.
Ayala painting away at Gregory in the second round. The left hook and again by Ayala. Right hand by Gregory, the counter by Ayala. We go final second round. That's awesome performance here in the second round by Tony Ayala. In Tampa, Florida, Marv Albert and the fight doctor Ferdy Pacheco. Steve Gregory taking a pounding from Tony Ayala in round 2. Angelo Dundee upset, and understandably so, off the late blow thrown after the bell by Ayala, who's just been warned again by the referee, Arthur Mercani.
Spit it out. I hit you with a Sunday.
Listen to Angelo.
I don't want you reaching for the guy. Stop reaching. And stop laying on the ropes. You get on the ropes, slide on the guy.
See, that's Angelo's fight. Angelo doesn't like to see a fighter stand on the ropes, and you sure shouldn't against a guy like Ayala. Good right hand by Gregory. That's what Angelo wants, movement, punching and movement. He shouldn't stay there now, move away. Angelo just uses everything to his advantage. His fighter just got hammered, yet when he came back, he took that and turned it around, and he said, that's the hardest you're going to get hit, so you're not going to get hit any harder than that, and you took it, so let's go from there.
Left hand by Ayala, who was landing the left hook continuously in round 2. Oh, right hand that sent Gregory reeling, but he's able to hang on.
Twice Gregory threw his perfect right hand. Twice he got hit by the same kind of counter from Ayala. You're not going to stand there too much longer with that kind of punishment.
We approach the midway mark. Round 3. Among those, Gregory has beaten one-time junior middleweight champion Elijah Obed, Pat Hallisey, who was stopped by Tony Ayala in a bout in San Remo, Italy.
Now there's something you don't see very often. Ayala on the ropes and Gregory pounding.
And Ayala able to effectively double up on the left and then goes to the body. And Gregory ready to go.
He can't get up. He cannot continue.
And Arthur Mercani waves it off. It is all over. Tony Ayala with a decisive knockout of Steve Gregory in round 3.
All right. Okay, you got it, baby. All right. Come over here, baby. Come on, terrific. All right. Okay, baby. All right.
Congratulations for Tony Ayala. Many consider Tony the finest young prospect in the world. El Torito, the baby bull, at about scheduled for 10, goes to the 3rd as Ayala continues his unbeaten string. He is now 19-0, 17 by knockout. Ayala has only been extended to the distance twice in his career and had no difficulty in solving the style of Steve Gregory, who did not provide the kind of movement that Angelo Dundee was looking for. Steve Gregory now 25-3 with 2 draws as we get another look. The right hand by Ayala. Oh, the left hook that put Gregory to the canvas. Arthur Mercani checking it out, and no question about it. That was it for the 27-year-old out of Columbus, Ohio, Steve Gregory. There's the left hand from another angle, and Gregory first looking to hold on, goes down off the second left hook. Let's go to the ring for the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 2 minutes, 2 seconds of the 3rd round. The winner by technical knockout and still undefeated, Tony El Torito Ayala.
You used
2 left hooks and a right uppercut. I'd like to say hi to all my people in San Antonio.
I did it all for y'all.
Hope they saw the fight
Lou,
there.
those 2 counters were devastating. When he missed and Ayala countered, was that planned?
Yes, Tony Sr. knew that he would be out there, coming out there, bombing with right hands, and all he did was have him move over on the side, understand, and counter with left hooks. He did a beautiful job training for this fight.
Is it true you got Paulie ready to be as good as Tony?
Paulie is ready to be as good as Tony, but all in his right time. Right now, we're concentrating on El Torito. And the one thing that I'm very proud of him, you know, that he's began to box real good, and he did real great.
All right, one. I know what's on your mind. I want you to hear you say it. Where we go with Tony from here?
Tony,
World Championship. I want to fight Davey Moore for the world title.
Let me say something. Davey Moore, if you're out there, understand? Get ready to sign the contract. We're coming after you until we get you. We're going to win the world title and bring it back to the USA.
All right, and with that impassioned challenge to Davey Moore, I send it back to Marv.